Again, vatos, thanks again for tuning in to yet another video. I am showing you guys how do you install a LP6 on your Harley Davidson. Maybe you're out there, you want a plug and play kit, you don't want to mess with the electrical. A lot of folks don't want to get into it. I made my own harnesses for my bikes, for my Lowrider S and my Sportster. I made my own harness, but maybe you don't have the skill set, and like I said, maybe you don't want to get into it. You don't want to, mess with the electrical. A lot of people don't, like I said. So anyways, let's get into the first option here. And these are, options. Plug and play. They have the bracket. You need minor modification of the Road Warrior fairing, just a little bit. You just have to trim it by about an inch. That's what I did with my bike, with my Road Warrior fairing. So yeah, this one's a pretty good option. You have, of course, different options as in colors. You get stainless steel, gloss black, matte black, power coated. Very nice. This one actually attaches to the back of your Road Warrior fairing. You can see these are the mounting locations right here, and of course you have the actual bracket. So this option attaches directly to your fairing. So if you have a quick disconnect, you remove your fairing, you remove your light. But you can see the light fits nicely. It's recessed into the fairing, so it's not sticking out. Maybe maybe you're like myself. I don't like seeing the light sticking outside of the fairing. So this could be the option. And like I said, they have different finishes, which is quite nice. And like I mentioned, this attaches directly behind the fairing. So this is where it mounts right here on these on these bolts. They mount directly to the fairing. So like I said, you remove it, you remove the fairing, quick detach, then you remove the light. So that's one of the drawbacks. Of course, you could buy the full kit, clear lens, harness, M8 Softail. They also have one for Dyna and Sportster. I believe the Sportster and the Dyna are the same, similar. They're similar wire sets or harness. They're similar. So $815 for everything. You get the plug and play kit, like I said. So you can buy it through Prior Performance. They offer the bracket, the light, and the harness. You could also go directly to Gas, which are the guys that make the bracket, and you could buy the bracket and the light. They don't sell the harness. So $160. This is gonna set you back. So let's go into, of course, the bracket from Prior Performance. The harness. You can see, how it's designed, how they put it together. These are the relays. Of course, that's what sends power to your light. You have two of them, so your low beam, high beam are going to be connected, and they're going to have plenty of juice. They bypass your ECM, your ECU, the harness. That's what triggers these relays, and they send juice to the light. So it's quite nice. The eyelets for the batteries, they look a little small in my taste. The ones I use, they're actual, eyelets for the battery. They're thicker, they're different material. The ones I use, they're copper. So like I said, the eyelets on my harnesses, they're just a little bit fatter than this. And you can see right here, this is the M8. This is the Softail connector. This plugs directly to your harness on your Lowrider S, Street Bob. Even I believe some of the touring models have this connector, this four pin connector. So direct bolt on or plug, and then of course you have your Dutch connector, and this is what powers your LP6. And this one looks to have the fuse, the in wire fuse, closer to, of course, the battery terminal. So you'll be able to sneak the terminal into your seat, the infuse into your seat, and it looks like the relay is going to be closer to the fairing, so you might be able to find a spot to hide it. Typically, I would recommend, if this is going to be on the bike, of course, you could just attach it to this spot right here, or even here. You could put that relay somewhere in this area down here. That's where I have it on my Lowrider S. I have it directly on the bracket, and on my Sportster, I have it underneath the forks. So just giving you guys some info. Maybe you guys know a little bit about this, but this looks like it's, you know, well made. You have the fiberglass sleeving, which is high temp, which is really good. Then you can see that it's got a little bit of heat shrink around the edges, which is high quality. Looks like it's well put together. Let's go ahead and look at the other option, which is a very good one. These next options, you don't need a direct bolt-on to the fairing. These are options where you could remove the fairing and still have the LP6 connected. So let's get into Cali Raised. These are the guys that started doing these harnesses from the I believe about a year and a half ago. These were the first guys to start it. So we have this bracket. It's a massive bracket. You guys might like it, you guys might not like it, but nonetheless, a beefy bracket. They put a little bit of design in there as well. You have, you know, extra little plates just to add a little bit more strength. Depending on the bolt, of course, we have different options. The light sits a little bit outside, kind of like on my bike. No, this one actually sits a little bit further out than mine. But this one looks about the same as my bracket, which is 12 bucks. This one, of course, this is detached from the wire, so it just makes it easier to feed the wire through you know, the neck of the bike and underneath the fuel tank. As far as installation, unlike the other harness, I don't believe they have a inline fuse, a detachable inline fuse. No, this is I can't see right here. So this could be, this looks like it's not gonna detach. So this one might be a little bit more difficult running, you know, running through the back of the bike or the neck of the bike or on the inside of the bike, kind of like what I did with mine. But I think you should be able to install it. So like I said, pretty close as in price. This one's $815 harness, bracket, and the light, and the Cali Raised, it's $800. So it's a difference of 15 bucks between both options. This one has the same connector. You can see it right here. This is the four pin connector on the Milwaukee, and it looks like they ship you one of those. I'm guessing this is what you use on your battery cable wire to kind of solder it once you, of course, run and feed the wire. So the eyelets look about the same, and I believe these are your relays. This looks like a bad angle, but yeah, you know, I like the way it sits on the fairing, pretty good. And of course, you have different plates here that you could stack up and strengthen. So nice universal kit. It's just I wish I could, you know, see this harness a little bit better, but it looks like this one doesn't have the high heat fiberglass sleeve, but you do have, of course, some heat shrink and some protection as well. So overall, pretty good. And then it looks like this one has an accessory plug right here, this little connector. So you'll probably be able to hook up some S2s or some additional lighting onto this little connector, which is quite nice. So single Dutch connector. This isn't the Road Glide connector. So yeah, this is just for one LP6. And like I said, I believe these are the relays over here. I can't really see it from this angle. Let's go on to the universal kit from, once again, Cali Raised. This kit is it's different. You can see the overall bracket, and the way this one mounts. They don't have any images, but the way this one mounts, it mounts underneath your risers or your upper triple tree or your upper fork clamp. Kind of, if you have Plex Audio and you know how that mounts, this is the mounting location. It mounts on the upper triple clamp, right where your risers are mounted. So this is how this connects. And like I said, you don't really see the images, but it looks like it's got a little bit of adjustability because of, you know, the length of these of this opening. You could slide it out or you could slide it in, which is quite nice. Pretty good, you know, high quality. Once again, Cali raised. The build quality looks fantastic, and it's 150 bucks. So overall, you know, I do like what they have. I noticed a little disclaimer here from Cali raised. Now this could be, of course, a shot towards gas, paint, and performance bracket. Do not mount your LP6 light directly to your fairing, and that's how, you know, this is mounted. So I'm not too sure the reasoning for it. The LP6 does weigh 5 pounds, so that could be a reason for it. I'm not too sure why Cali raised has that disclaimer. It will fail and it will not perform as designed. So as in design meaning detach, yeah, it's not going to perform as a detachable fairing with the first option. As far as you know, this disclaimer, do not mount your LP6 directly to your fairing. I'm not too sure. Maybe they've seen something. Maybe other people have, you know, mentioned, hey, I used the gas, paint, and performance bracket, and I decided to go ahead and make the switch to Cali raised. Who knows what's going on? All right, that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the third option. We have Banks Performance. This one, they don't have any images of the bracket. I don't know why. I mean, but I know how this mounts. So this bracket is just like this bracket. It's the same design, similar everything. After looking through, of course, their images and their websites, I've been able to see that that they have this bracket. Anyways, the only way for you to get the bracket from Banks Performance, you'll have to buy the fairing. So this one's by far, of course, the most expensive because of the fairing. Yeah, you're looking at $1,400, not including the LP6. Once you include the LP6 with this kit, you're looking at close to $2,000. That is expensive. Like I said, that's by far the most expensive option out of the three. But like I said, with this one, it's basically this bracket. All right. So if you're looking for the images, it's this bracket. As far as their harness, I think it's probably not as good as the Cali raised or the gas painter or the prior performance harness. Let's take a look at it so I can show you guys, you know, what I noticed. All right, so this is their one of their options. I believe this might be the same way how most of their harnesses are made. You can see that there's only one relay on here. So I think the LP6 is fine to run off of your low beam. When it comes to the high beam, that's when it needs more juice. It demands more amps. So this is the reason why it only has one relay. So basically, I mean, that's all you really need. It's just one relay, and that's for the high beam. So, you know, without looking at, of course, all the information, I could tell you that's how it connects. So you have the connector. This is for your H4, which is typically most of the bikes. You have a OEM connector, 4-pin connector, which could be a JAE connector, and then that goes to your H4. So if you have, of course, the light bucket on your bike, and you know the light bucket has this connector, has the H4, and then from the H4 it connects to your OEM harness. And you know, this is just, like I said, one of the options. So this will work with the Dyna and the Sportster. So like I said, you know, getting back on topic, you have the high temp sleeving, which is pretty good. You have an inline fuse right there. I can't see the eyelets on this one, but you have your Dutch connector, and like I said, you only have one relay. And this one's an outdoor relay, so it's a heavy duty relay. This one you could mount it pretty much anywhere on the bike, and it's gonna be fine. You don't have to mount it underneath the seat or somewhere inside of the fan where you're gonna make sure it does not get wet. But you only have one relay. Like I said, you don't need a relay for your low beam. You don't need it. High beam, definitely need a relay. So those are the options. Here's another harness from Cali. Like I said, this one has a different relay on there. You could see, of course, the connector for your Milwaukee 8 or your touring model. And of course you have that inline fuse here, and then like I mentioned, looks pretty good. All right, you have the two relays right here. This video is very long, but hopefully you get a better understanding. Like I said, if you just want a plug and play kit, you could buy it from Cali Raised, or you could buy it from these folks right over here. 800 bucks. That looks to be what it's gonna set you back. And then if you get, like I said, if you get this kit, then it's gonna be about 800 bucks. Anyways, enough rambling. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching yet another video. Thanks for supporting the channel. You guys are great. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.